Ramzan Kadyrov. The name alone evokes a mix of fear and fascination. He is the iron-fisted ruler of Chechnya, a republic within Russia with a turbulent history. Kadyrov has been a staunch ally of Vladimir Putin, but recent events suggest a potential shift in the balance of power. Kadyrov has embarked on a campaign of military expansion, raising questions about his ultimate ambitions. This is no small-time militia. We're talking about tens of thousands of troops under his direct control. And then there's the photo op that set off alarm bells across the region. Kadyrov's very public meeting with Alexei Milchikov, the leader of a notorious neo-Nazi paramilitary group called Rusik. Now Kadyrov would have us believe this was just a friendly get-together, a chance to smooth over any misunderstandings. But let's be real, folks. This was a calculated display of power, a not-so-subtle message to Moscow that Kadyrov is a force to be reckoned with. But what does this all mean for the future of Russia? Is Kadyrov simply consolidating his power, or does he have grander designs? To answer these questions, we need to delve deeper into the complex web of alliances and rivalries that define Russian politics. Kadyrov's growing army. Since the war in Ukraine began, Kadyrov has been steadily building up his personal army. He's created new units within both the Russian Defense Ministry and the National Guard, effectively expanding his influence within the military hierarchy. This is not just about adding a few more boots on the ground. This is about loyalty. Kadyrov is creating a network of loyal commanders and soldiers who answer directly to him, not to Moscow. Kadyrov claims to have 70,000 fully equipped soldiers ready to fight. Now we know Kadyrov has a bit of a reputation for exaggeration. But even if he's inflating the numbers, there's no denying that he commands a significant force. And he's not afraid to use them. Kadyrov's troops have been heavily involved in the fighting in Ukraine, often accused of brutality and human rights abuses. This military buildup has not gone unnoticed in Moscow. The Kremlin is walking a tightrope, trying to balance its dependence on Kadyrov's forces with the need to keep his ambitions in check. It's a dangerous game, and one that could have explosive consequences. That photo op with the neo-Nazi leader? That wasn't just a power play, it was a symptom of a much deeper problem, the ethnic tensions simmering within the ranks of the Russian military. Russia likes to portray itself as a united front, but the reality is far more complex. The country is a patchwork of different ethnicities and religions, each with its own history and grievances. The war in Ukraine has only exacerbated these tensions. Chechen soldiers, many of whom see themselves as distinct from Russians, have been thrust into a conflict that many feel is not their own. They are fighting alongside Russian nationalists, some of whom hold deeply racist views towards Chechens. This uneasy alliance is held together by a shared enemy and a healthy dose of fear. But it wouldn't take much to shatter this fragile peace. A battlefield defeat, an economic crisis, even a perceived slight could be enough to ignite the tinderbox. So, what does the future hold for Kadyrov and his ambitions? It's a dangerous game he's playing. He's betting that he can leverage his military power and his alliance with Putin to secure more autonomy for Chechnya. But he's also walking a tightrope. If Putin were to fall from power, or if the war in Ukraine were to go badly, Kadyrov could find himself isolated and vulnerable. And then there are the internal dynamics within Chechnya itself. Kadyrov's rule is built on a foundation of fear and repression. He has silenced any opposition and crushed dissent. But for how long can he maintain this grip on power? The Caucasus region has a long and bloody history of conflict. Kadyrov's actions risk igniting a new chapter in this tragic saga, one that could have devastating consequences not just for Chechnya but for Russia and the wider region. The world is watching, waiting to see if Kadyrov will overplay his hand and what the price of his gamble will be.